Mike Huther, if you're listening to this,
Right, yeah.
come on the show.
From the Franklin House in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, this is the Pick 8 podcast. My name is Smitty, and my guest today is Link West.
Hey, Smitty.
The Link West. You are the third one that I've done recording for this quote-unquote season. It's not like a set calendar season, but so it's been fun to get back into the routine of, like this morning I went to Queen City and was just like going over questions for you and other people. It's been fun to like try to just imagine conversations. But I'd like for you to tell me and the other people listening how we know each other. Who is Link West a little bit, and just kind of start there.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Okay.
I enjoyed the previous seasons quite a bit.
Yeah.
You got an interesting range of friends and acquaintances and fascinating people.
Yeah.
Thanks for picking me to pick 8.
Yeah.
This would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Link West. I'm a Sioux Falls-based singer-songwriter guy, troubadour all around town. Kind of guitar picker fella. Do a lot of farmers markets and fairs and patios and wineries and all that kind of stuff. And I've been at it for a few years now. It's good fun. But I landed here in Sioux Falls in 2008.
Okay.
And I think I met you shortly thereafter, maybe early 2009, something like that, be my guess.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we've known each other for quite a few years at this point. That's pretty cool.
One of the ways that we connect, we go to a lot of concerts, shows together.
Yep.
Or run into each other at them.
Yep.
And like that's a big part of my life. So that was an easy connection to make.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Smitty's the kind of guy that you're bound to see around town at something.
Yeah.
You know, he's just one of those guys. He's a constant. And he's a guy a lot of people know.
Sure.
You run into somebody, you have a quick conversation. Oh, well, you know, what do you do? Who do you know? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, Smitty? I'm like, oh, I know Smitty. Yeah.
Yep.
He's one of those guys. He's a connector.
One of the perks of being a delivery guy.
Oh, okay.
Is like,
sure.
I just bump into, you know, there's probably 100 people I regularly see, and then I'll bump into them out and about. So
yeah. It's a cool job.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fun to get out and about. You got to connect with people. Yeah. That's what life's all about.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So I think I first met you at a whiskey drinking night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, with the
Whiskey Society.
The Whiskey Society. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the first time I went to one of those. I met you and a few of your buddies. And then ran into you, all kinds of stuff after that. Yeah. So, a couple of pool parties here and there. Yep. Good
Back
times.
when I had a pool.
Yeah.
Now it's just a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
I should probably show you before you leave.
Yeah.
It really is.
What's left of it.
Yep.
All right. The memories.
Yep.
Exactly. You got to keep the hole though. Yeah. So you can celebrate the memories.
So far.
Right.
Is there anything from a pool party that stands out? Just curious.
I don't know if you want to edit this out or not. But one thing that comes to mind, you were getting set up and you came across your wedding album and you chucked it in the middle of the pool without any ceremony or thought whatsoever. You just picked it up, looked at it, and just whoop, right over your shoulder, right in the water.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's my wedding album. I'm like, you gonna go get it? I'm like, nah, I'll just let it sit there for a while.
Sounds like me. I love it.
That was pretty funny.
That is funny.
Good times.
Yeah.
I jumped off the roof of the lake house quite a few times. Landed in the pool.
Yeah.
First time was scary. After that, I realized I could make the jump, and then it was just good fun after that.
Yeah, those are good days, man. So I got 10 questions here. I'm trying to decide. I think probably start off with just a fun one.
Keep it easy for me.
Wide range. You know that. You've listened to other ones. Yeah, keep it easy.
Right. Yeah. Nice slow pitch over the plate.
That's right.
Just warming up
that's
here.
Right. Here you go, buddy. Do you have any favorite websites or podcasts or YouTube channels that you would recommend, or that are just, hey, this is just a thing I enjoy?
Yeah, for sure. The podcast I listen to the most by far would be Mark Maron.
Sure.
A comedian.
Yep.
I love his stuff. I love his shtick.
Yep.
and the thing I love the most about Mark Maron, and he's a guy who always worked in comedy and acting, and he was always an also-ran kind of player.
Okay.
And he finally got his life together, probably once he was pushing 50. And he's had the best run of his life ever since. And as a guy who's not getting younger myself, I really appreciate I appreciate it when when older guys have that second chance at a career. And I love that point of view. I think it gives a little hope to some of us with a couple of gray hairs popping out here and there.
I have a few.
Yeah. They look good on you, though.
All right. Well, we'll take it.
Yeah, so Mark Maron's great.
I feel like he was one of the earlier guys to get on the podcast.
Yeah.
Fad or thing.
Yeah, it was a new thing. And if I know the story right, he really had very little going on.
Yeah.
And his buddy's like, why don't you try this podcasting thing that's happening? And he's like, what the heck is that? And just like this, he turned his garage into a little studio and went for it. Yeah. And it turned out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught him talking to his producer it was like an anniversary episode, and he broke down in tears.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he's kind of a tough guy, that's kind of his persona. I'm from New York. I've been in Boston, East Coast. I'm kind of tough, but yeah, he started crying.
Is that a recent episode or is it a little further back?
It was a few years ago.
Okay.
At this point.
That'd be interesting to check out.
Yeah. So I like him. I like his point of view. I like his sense of humor. Another podcaster I listen to quite a bit is Pete Holmes.
Okay.
Pete Holmes, he wrote a book. He's a comedian.
Yep.
There's a lot of stand-up. He's done some acting too. He wrote a book called Comedy, Sex, God.
Okay.
And those are 3 individual independent words.
Okay.
Comedy, sex, God.
Yeah.
Even though you can kind of put them together in 10 different ways. But that's his life. He's he's a comedian. Okay. He's always been hung up on sex and religion.
Sure.
And he grew up just like I did, super evangelical.
Yeah.
Went to a small Christian college.
Yeah.
Gordon, they were in Massachusetts, and I went to another one of those kinds of colleges. And back around the same time, he's a little bit younger than me, but so all of his stories about growing up and going to that kind of college and being hung up on sex and everything. Yeah, let's just say I can relate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
I can relate.
You grew up that way. Yep. Like it by making less of sex, it actually makes more about it.
Right.
In a sense.
Yeah.
If I'm tracking with you.
Exactly. Yeah. If you treat it as a natural thing that's a part of life, it's no big deal in some ways. But but if it's like the forbidden fruit,
there
like,
you go.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Girls. How does that work? Right. So hopefully you get over that by the time you're 15. But it took until he was probably 25 or so to get over that kind of stuff.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. So at least. So, yeah, I'm still working on it myself.
Sure. Same here, buddy. Yep.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I've recently, it's not a podcast, but it's a website. Reasons to be cheerful. Have you ever come across that?
No, that sounds good though.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, I can't remember the guy behind it, but it's just like, here's some stories of good things in the world.
Nice.
Instead of like the opposite, which is kind of the normal, if you watch the news.
Right.
Or read the news, whatever. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So
it's
a lot of like small things that are being done throughout the world that just make people's lives a little bit better.
Nice.
More or less.
Yeah. I like that. Yep.
Yeah. So that's been one of the things I'll go to weekly and just like, I just need a little nice, good story. So,
nice. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Because most of the world is actually just normal, nice people trying to do their best.
Right.
Trying to be trying to be nice to each other and get along.
Right.
Yeah. But if you watch the news, it's all about politics and everybody has an opinion and gets all angry all the time.
It's crazy. Right.
Like,
that includes our country. Like most people are that way in our country and the rest of the world.
Yep. Everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But if you really do travel, you find out that, those people, those different people.
Yeah.
They're actually okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And their food's pretty good. You should give it a try.
It might actually be better food.
It might be.
Question number 2. I have this very specific, but we can make it less specific if we want. Name 3 beverages that you like that start with the letter M. Letter?
3 with the letter M.
Yeah.
Beverages, letter M.
Yeah.
I don't know. Michelob, Malbec, mimosas.
Okay.
They start with the letter M.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with wine, beer, and cocktails, but obviously can't say those are my 3 go-tos in those categories.
But you're fine with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Some options there.
Modelo?
But I do actually. That's my favorite Mexican beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it on there.
The Modelo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Pacifico's pretty good too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just bought some Pacifico.
Yeah, I like that one. I like Corona if you're on the beach and a little bit of salt water splashes over your bottle accidentally because you're floating around.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. Which is just because that's a very specific memory when I lived in South Carolina.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time on the beach when I was a younger man.
Okay.
And yeah, remember just having some parties and you'd be floating around, the tide coming in and the water's warm and you got limes and Coronas and you're trying to float, but then the wave hits you and you get the saltwater splash in your Corona.
Yeah.
And it
is this
tastes
like
good that way.
Post college? What era of your life is South Carolina?
Yeah, that would be post college.
Okay.
So yeah, graduated from college in 97.
Yeah.
And then my only plan was to be Jack Kerouac.
Okay.
So I thought I'd travel around and write a great American novel.
Yeah.
But instead, I just worked as a waiter in a few different locations.
Okay. I've heard you talk about being a waiter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, didn't get much writing done.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah. So I was down at Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Hilton Head.
Yeah. It's a big vacation spot for East Coast folks.
Yep.
And so I had some family down there. So I had a place to live for a little bit. It was great. But working as a waiter, there is this expression that every night is a Friday and every morning is a Monday.
Yeah.
Because you got a weird schedule.
Totally.
Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. And I heard that a lot. And then the get to know you question for everybody is, how did you get to the island?
Okay.
That's the standard question.
Okay.
And everybody I talked to that was working like I was working, a lot of these guys are like 10 years older than me. They're like, yeah, moved down here after college. That was, I don't know, 82. And just kind of been down here ever since.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, wait, that's going to be me if I don't get out of here.
Yeah.
So then I moved back to Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I knew I needed some place that was a little tougher to live in.
Okay.
Yeah. Because working as a waiter is fun. You have cash in your pocket every night. So every night you feel flush.
Yeah.
And then you go and you spend it. And then you're like, it's fine. I'll make more tomorrow.
Right.
And you do, which is cool if you're like, 23, 25, whatever,
Very
but
small responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah. But, 30 comes up on you fast.
Uh-huh.
And then it doesn't, then it's downhill after that.
Well, lucky you had that foresight.
Yeah.
Like not everyone does. So.
Right. It was good. It was good for a season.
Yeah.
Glad I did it. Good
Yeah.
stories. Yeah.
Good. What are we going with? Modelo?
Oh, yeah. The real question.
Mimosa. Yeah. Oh, you're good. I love the tangent, man. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. There's mochas.
Mochas.
But I just like my coffee black.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to skip this question, but I think I'm just going to land on Modelo.
Okay. That's
probably about it for beverages.
Yeah.
What did you have in mind?
Oh, man. It's way too narrow of a question. I don't often have it, but I do enjoy a mimosa.
Yeah.
Easy to drink.
Right.
You get some orange juice.
Exactly.
So it's healthy.
Right. Yeah. There's mellow yellow.
No.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
I mean, I had a stage of life where Mountain Dew was
sure.
a thing.
Yep. That's a classic. We all go through that one at some point.
Yeah. So I'll put that in there just because it was a thing.
But yeah, I like my beverages for sure. But
Merlot. I'll go Merlot.
Yeah, Merlot. Yeah. Merlot. Yeah. That makes sense.
Just a classic red wine.
Absolutely. Goes good with anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Steak, pizza, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good.
Or by itself.
Right. It's true. It's a little cube of cheese.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm good.
So you're not drinking alone. I've got my cheese with me.
It's my French friend.
Right. Merci.
Yeah. I'm going to dovetail a little bit since you talked about jobs a little bit. What is the most bizarre job you've ever had?
I've had a lot of weird jobs.
You have? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of temp jobs and stuff filling in.
Okay.
I always hustled up money whenever I had a break from school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the most bizarre job was a very small assembly plant, if you will. But it was just like a 3-man operation.
Oh, that is small.
They made electronic dartboards.
Okay.
But out of actual cork instead of like plastic.
Yeah.
So it was actual cork, and then in the little metal containers around the cork bits, like the wires, they went through and they were magnetic.
Okay.
So they would sense if a dart hit section.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know how successful they were. Apparently they sold them to Japan.
Okay.
They're kind of high end.
Sure.
But yeah, me and a buddy of mine, we got temp jobs packaging those things up there for a few weeks.
Okay.
It was bizarre.
I can see. I've never been really into darts, but the few people I know, I think they would complain about the non-cork dartboards.
Yeah.
It's just better to have a cork one.
Yeah.
So I can see how there's a market.
Yeah, it could be a
For
thing.
it?
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
it took off or not, but
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that was fun.
Was that high school then?
That would
Like
have
a
been
summer?
like it was like a Christmas vacation during
Oh,
college or
okay,
something like
okay.
that. It was just a temp job for a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
I had a job at a hydroponic greenhouse operation.
That's cool.
They grew tomatoes,
Uh-huh.
and then the idea was it would all be self-contained with a fish farm.
Huh.
So they'd use like the fish excretions
Uh-huh.
as fertilizer for the
Uh-huh.
tomatoes, and then the water would go back to the fish. That was the idea. So it was
Okay.
all supposed to be self-contained.
Yeah.
But I got hired because I didn't mind driving the truck full of
Uh-huh.
tomatoes to the grocery stores. And this
Uh-huh.
was outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But the grocery stores were Wegmans, I believe the name was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big chain out there. So they had a bunch of grocery stores up in the Buffalo area
Okay.
that bought their tomatoes.
Yep.
But all the local guys that worked at the greenhouse were sort of afraid to go that far outside of town.
Oh, wow.
So they weren't really into driving the truck that far.
So they didn't get to the island.
Yeah, exactly. They were, yeah. They were very, very small town in Pennsylvania, Western PA.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So they basically hired me because I was willing to drive the truck up to Buffalo and do the deliveries once a week.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the week I worked in the greenhouse, picked tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was odd. I remember like the first time I did it, the next day I showed up for work and everyone's like, "Hey, how was your trip?" I'm like,
They're like, you made it?
yeah. I'm like, what trip? Like, you went to Buffalo. I'm like, yeah, it's probably like, I don't know, 2-3 hours up the highway and there's a couple stops up along the way and back. So it took all day, but you're really only driving a few hours outside of town.
Yeah. Right. Right.
That was weird.
But
Yeah.
I mean, there's people in our state that are similar.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like the biggest trip they've ever taken is Omaha.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I guess that's just how some people are.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nice folks.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. It's just weird when people refer to Sioux Falls as the big city.
Uh-huh.
You're like, it's so dangerous in Sioux Falls. It's just crazy. I couldn't live
Right.
there. It's just crazy. I'm like, well,
I won't say
Yep.
any names, but I have a friend that, in all seriousness, was giving advice about driving in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
And his advice was, now remember, there's 2 interstates. One's I-29 and I-229.
whoa.
Just keep that in mind that there's 2 and they're very similar.
Yeah. Don't get confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy drive a truck for a living, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks for the input.
Yep. We'll be okay.
Yeah. That's great. We got 3 down.
Woo.
Yeah. No punts, no vetoes. Sorry, Chris. My friend Chris called them punts,
Punts. Sure. Yep. That makes sense.
which
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
Yeah, I like
exactly.
it. Yeah. Link West, you want to create a team for a project. So what's the project that Link West you would like to be in charge of? And is there anyone in particular that you're like, I want this person on my team because they're going to be good at fill in the blank. I just trust them to show up. So the unnamed, untitled project that you're in charge of, what is it? Too broad?
That's pretty broad.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate to punt on that one because it's a fun question.
I can narrow it
But okay.
if you want. Let's both come back to it.
Okay.
If I can narrow
Yeah.
it down. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. We're still technically on number 4 then.
Okay.
Tell me about who in your life that you find to be courageous. And it doesn't have to be like a big courageous.
Mhm.
Could be just like a everyday thing that you find to be brave or courageous. Is there anyone in your circle of people, either you know
Sure.
or just observe?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with my buddy Pete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy here in town.
In town.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls.
Guy here in town. He runs a thing called Groove.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
it's a drum school.
Yep.
Yeah. So he travels around a lot with that, but he has this amazing ability to take on challenges.
Okay.
Like he just
Yeah.
doesn't care. Mostly physical.
Okay.
Yeah. But you name it, any project, he's willing to just go for it.
That's yeah.
But there's a bike race across South Dakota.
Oh yeah.
They start in Wyoming, they end up in a small town in Iowa. It's all back roads. And he won the thing a few years ago.
Okay.
He's like, not because I'm the fastest biker, but because I don't sleep. So he just goes.
I guess that is an advantage.
Days. Yeah. He's biked all over the place. He was getting ready for some winter biking, like a mountain bike type, like some big race. And he was biking down the frozen Big Sioux River around the airport.
Yeah.
And he was trying to break through the ice. So that he could practice what it felt like to break through the ice and have to rescue yourself and not die of hypothermia. And he was mad that he couldn't break through the ice.
That is fascinating.
Yeah. I'm like, you're crazy. I mean, most people would be pretty darn happy they didn't break through the ice.
Right. Yeah.
You know you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as one kid was doing a marching band thing out in California. So he started somewhere near Yosemite and decided he had a few days to himself. So he was going to bike from there across the Central Valley to San Francisco.
Okay.
With the intent of camping under the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
So he just came to mind. So he decided to bike to San Francisco, which you're going through the Central Valley. It's like basically the desert, super hot summertime. And then you end up in the Bay Area. We'll talk about a crazy city with all kinds of people around. So he just bike, so he goes from that, biking through the suburbs, biking through all kinds of changing scenarios, all kinds of traffic, gets to the Golden Gate Bridge, decides to camp out under it, which can't be legal. Finds that the only other guys camping there are homeless guys.
Oh, I'm sure.
So he's just down there with a bunch of homeless guys in San Francisco, in his little tent, hoping nobody takes his bike in the morning. But he made friends, and he figured they're really nice guys. So he's like, that's cool,
right?
But yeah, he's just a guy from South Dakota that just says he just gets a hair, a wild hair, and he's like, okay, I can do that. Yeah,
that is ballsy.
Yeah, it's pretty courageous. Yeah, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that guy comes to mind. Yeah,
because there's 100 reasons to not do that stuff.
Comfort, safety.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, and he's got kids, and he's got jobs, and he's got a wife, and he's responsibilities, right? All that kind of stuff,
right?
So so I look at myself and what I do, and I look at a guy like that who does things like that just for fun.
Yeah,
and I think I'm courageous if I go camp out somewhere out, on the west side of the state by myself for one night.
Yeah, same here.
Probably, within. In a completely safe place where no one else is around except for other small town South Dakota camper type folks.
Right.
And I think I'm being kind of ballsy.
Right. Yeah.
Because who knows, there might be one bear somewhere within 50 miles of me, maybe.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all relative. But
that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But there's the thing though. You realize that a lot of people, like I do music, obviously.
Yeah.
And I see what some people are doing, what other people are doing. And I realize, they're just guys that put their pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
It's just some guy.
Right.
Yeah. So I was down in Nashville.
Yeah.
Dropping off my kid at school down there.
Yep.
And I really wanted to check out Jack White's record, his store / vinyl studio / performance space called Third Man Records down there.
Yep.
And he's got a booth from 1947 where you can record yourself.
Yeah.
It's direct to vinyl. I've known about it for years at this point.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Neil Young's done a whole album in there. And I've heard plenty of other tracks, people, like famous people.
Yeah.
They're down there playing a show. They pop in to do a thing.
Yeah.
Tons of rock stars have popped in there for 5 minutes to do a thing for fun. But anybody can use it. And I was like, you know what? I was kind of intimidated because you're in a box that Neil Young's been in, and who knows how many other, amazing folks. And I'm like, oh, they're just guys. They push the button, and the little clock, turns on, and the light turns red, and you just do your best for 2 minutes, and that's it.
Like, is it booked? Like you have to like pick a time, like a.
No. I mean, maybe sometimes it is, but I just walked in at a random time. Okay. And just tried it out.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like hipster central, right? I mean, nobody's cooler than Jack White.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, he's just a guy from Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy.
Right.
Whatever. We're about the same age. Why not?
Yeah.
And it was cool. And the kids that worked there were, happy I used it, and they thought it was fun. I was trying it out.
Okay.
And it was just.
So it's not maybe something that's used constantly.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know why I had that in my head that it would be.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I was thinking there'd be a line or something for it. But
so then did you borrow a guitar?
They had 2 there you could borrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Sitting there. And
like
they
one
were,
acoustic, one electric, or
two acoustics.
2 acoustics.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
electrics.
Yeah. And neither one was in good shape or in tune.
Okay.
But I was like, that's cool.
Is that part of the appeal of it?
Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I tried to tune one up as best I could, and yeah, just went for it. Those little acts of courage, I think, really pay off.
Yeah.
You know, you tell yourself, you get up on a given day, and you're like, I don't want to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a thing. You're just pushing yourself to be like, hey, why not?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst that could happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What's the worst? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think
I botch a song.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, well.
Yeah. If you want to spend another $20, you can do it again.
Yeah.
Or maybe whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, that was you botching that song, having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did you play?
I did a song called Plastic Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
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 Which I learned from the movie Cool Hand Luke.
Okay. Yep.
And it's now on YouTube if you want to listen to my recording. I hooked up the phonograph to my computer, and the record skipped a bunch. So I had to play it through a few times until I got all the spots not skipping, and then edit together the non-skippy parts. Which is fun because I like playing with music.
Is that just because it was such an old recording equipment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's just really old, and you know, it's not the way they press a record at a factory.
No.
You know, the machine is no bigger than like a phone booth.
Okay.
You know, and it automatically cuts it right to vinyl and kicks it out. So, yeah, you're just dealing with whatever you get.
I like it, man.
But it was fun. So just taking it, you know, always saying, say yes to life, right?
Sure.
Those little things. You get an invitation to do a thing, like, I don't know if I want to deal with those people right now. I don't really know that guy.
That's my most common answer.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be awkward. You know, just say, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Nobody really cares about you. You know, then no one. You go home and think to yourself, why did I make that joke? That was in such poor taste.
Right.
You know what? The other guy, he doesn't remember.
Right.
He forgot.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You remember because you're uptight.
Yeah.
Or I remember because I'm uptight, I should say. But, you know, but really, just do the thing. Say yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Is that essentially what courage is? Is just saying yes to all the no's, or towards all the possible no's?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so.
I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Courage is saying yes. It's not being dumb.
Sure.
You know,
right,
I mean, you should know the parameters, but yeah, I think when you lack courage, the biggest thing you're missing is not skill, ability, time, money, those kinds of things. You know, if you've got it's probably not a health problem or something. It's not, it's probably not a real concern, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, probably the thing that you're saying no because of is just some dumb internal thing that, you know, doesn't need to be there, and nobody else knows it's there.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if you got a broken leg, it's obvious you got a broken leg. You can't do the thing on the bike. Right.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
You can't go surf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a real problem.
Yeah.
But probably you're not going to go surfing because you haven't tried it before. And the guys that are doing it look really good and smooth out there. And, you know, you're going to look like an idiot because you never tried it before.
Yeah.
You're not going to be one of those guys if you don't try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, it's not for you. Try something else.
Yeah.
And if you got a broken leg, sure. Yeah. But if you're saying no because, you
just don't feel like it.
Yeah, you don't feel like it. Yeah. You're worried about something dumb.
Yeah.
You know, you're too shy, whatever. Nobody knows you're shy. Just walk up and smile. They'll think you're really friendly and outgoing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like, no, I'm actually shy.
Right.
Really? You seemed like a nice guy to me.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody knows what's inside your head.
True.
Yeah.
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 That's great.
Go for it. Say yes to life.
Say yes.
Say yes to podcasts.
What is, in your life, if you have two examples of a wise choice and then the vice versa, a dumb choice that you've made?
Real life stories.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's pretty big. Probably the wisest choice I made in my life. Okay. Big picture.
Yeah.
It was moving to South Dakota.
Really?
Yeah, moving to Sioux Falls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls for the win.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. And it wasn't exactly my choice.
Sure.
Because my wife got a job out here.
Yeah.
So we're pretty 50-50 partners in the relationship. And I could have put my foot down and said, no, we're not doing that. And we would have stayed in Ohio or something else. And I didn't know what it would look like at the time, how things would shake out.
How would you? Yeah.
But I had a feeling when the idea of moving came up that even though I didn't want to do it, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so many problems as the young father, and
Mhm.
everything were avoided by moving here.
Sure.
Sioux Falls has great schools. You can just
Mhm.
pop the kid in a local school, and they're going to be in an okay place.
Mm-hmm.
We were living in Columbus, pretty close to downtown, and the schools were 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to make a lot of calls about where you sent your kid,
Mhm.
especially when they got into high school and stuff.
Sure.
And you had friends moving out of the area to suburban areas just for the schools.
Right.
That was a common story.
Yep.
That kind
would
of stuff. Yeah, but Sioux Falls has been great, and it's a growing place, and I love the opportunities here.
Be. Mm-hmm.
And I think for a guy like myself, who's speaking of music, who honestly is a very mid-level talent,
Mm-hmm.
Sioux Falls is a mid-level city,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a
Yeah.
place where a mid-level guy like myself
Yeah.
can enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
and get out and do it and be courageous and find those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, not that you can't anywhere else, but Sioux Falls is an encouraging environment,
Mm-hmm.
and
I agree.
it helped me find the courage
Mm-hmm.
to do a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
in a good place. And the summers here are great. Winter's not so much.
Most
But-
would agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I learned a lot about myself because I was pretty bitter when we first moved here,
Sure.
honestly.
Sure.
I had two rules. One was I wasn't going to move any place smaller than Columbus,
Smaller.
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't going to move any place further north than Columbus, Ohio,
Okay.
because I like the warm weather.
Uh-huh.
And we ended up here. Place is definitely much smaller and
Right.
definitely much colder. At
Right.
least half of the year.
Right.
It's actually a little hotter here in the summertime.
Okay. So
Uh,
the extremes.
Touch
of both.
hotter, but definitely colder in the wintertime. Yeah, but then it's a story I've told a bunch. I was at a party with a bunch of professors in Del Rapids,
Okay.
which is a really small town north
Yep.
of here. Realized looking around the room that I was probably the least educated,
Yeah.
least traveled,
Yeah.
least interesting person in the room
Sure.
in Del Rapids.
Yep.
And I had to check myself, like, what kind of ego do you think you have?
Fascinating.
That somehow you're like too good for this little place.
Yeah.
Like just look around, buddy.
Yeah.
Opportunities are here.
Yeah.
You just got to get out there and do it. So
Yeah. That's fascinating.
yeah. So yeah, it's been good. I wouldn't be who I am today if I wasn't living in Sioux Falls.
Okay.
And I'm liking myself more with
Mhm.
every passing year.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Which is a good goal, isn't it?
Right.
Shouldn't we all like ourselves more every year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make better choices.
Yeah. Yeah. I should make that a goal. Yeah. 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 How big is Columbus? Is it 1 million?
It's probably pushing 1 million.
Pushing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about the same size as all of South Dakota.
Okay.
But then, in Ohio, then you got a few hours down the road, you got Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
Dayton, that area, which is, I think, like probably 3 million or so.
Metropolis. Yeah.
And then you go up to Akron, Canton, Cleveland,
Mhm.
Up area. That's probably another 3-4 million.
Right.
So, a few hours away, there's these much, almost Minneapolis size,
Mhm.
urban areas.
Yep.
Either way you go,
Right.
Like Pittsburgh's just a few hours away, and that's the same kind of size, and Indianapolis.
Right.
And things
Yeah.
are just much more packed in. There's plenty of cornfields in Ohio,
Yep.
but there is also just a lot more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. A lot more people.
Right.
So, yeah. So it was weird here. Because, like, when I first moved here, I thought I'd drive outside of town, explore a little bit, see what the small towns are like outside
Yeah.
of Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
And I'm used to, like, if you leave one town, you're in the next town automatically.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
not
here. You leave one town and you're really
Miles.
nowhere. There's not a gas station or anything.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But now I love it. I love taking trips. I love doing shows, getting out of town, whether that's like out to, like I played Luverne, Minnesota last night.
Yep.
Just great little half-hour drive out there. I've been up to Fargo Moorhead to do some shows and down to Yankton. And, I just love getting on the highway or taking the back highway because it's more scenic.
Exactly.
And just getting the wide open spaces and clearing your mind. So,
Yeah.
I think it's great out here.
As one that mostly grew up in rural South Dakota, like, yeah, I didn't know it was a weird thing to like drive an hour for a Walmart.
Yeah.
Or it was more than an hour.
Yeah.
It was closer to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like that was just, that's just what you did.
Right.
Like it wasn't weird.
Yeah. It's a big trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. You planned ahead. You actually
Yeah.
made a list and bought what you needed. And
Right. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So I do appreciate this town, but I've never lived in this is the biggest town that I've actually lived in,
Yep.
visited bigger cities, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I would enjoy a bigger city. I don't
Yeah.
know that I would.
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. And Sioux Falls now, it's big enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can get sushi and you can get Thai food.
Right.
And you know, we have more craft breweries than I think we need right now. And
Yeah.
So
Right.
there's just so much, you know, there's always something going on now. There's never an excuse not to get out of the house and do something. There's
Decent
always
art
something.
scene, you know, whether that's the pavilion or you know, the bigger acts at premiere, all that stuff.
Yeah. There's great local bands, local music, local everything.
Yep.
Yeah. You do have to look a little bit here. Yeah. It's not in your face. This cool stuff that's happening. You know, like I know a lot of people that love going to concerts and they've never heard of Total Drag Records.
Right.
And Total Drag has really cool bands come through like on a monthly basis. And, you know, I've talked to people that love music and they've never heard of it.
Right.
Like, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I guess you just got to put in a little bit of effort.
Right. A little effort. Yeah. But it pays off.
Let's also plug, was it Hot Freaks, the band that we saw?
Yeah. Yep. Hot Freaks.
Like, they were good. They were just
good.
like a fun,
I
don't know how poppy, like pop rock, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So,
yep. Yeah.
I plan on seeing them again.
Yeah, me too.
If I hear about
me too.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. They were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them because the guy's voice did not match his appearance.
Yeah, that was great.
Because he's like a big dude, shaggy hair.
Yeah.
You know, old t-shirt kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably my height at least.
Yeah.
At least 6'2".
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was expecting like Mumford and Sons or something coming out of his mouth.
Right.
And no, he sounded like Michael Jackson or something like high and poppy. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was a free concert. It was free. You just have to get off your duff and go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Be courageous. Get off your duff and go do it. Say yes.
Say yes. Say no to your TV show.
Right. You can Netflix and chill later.
Yes. Right, yeah.
By yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I guess technically they're a Minneapolis band, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Either way, regional. I don't know.
I didn't say anything dumb yet.
Are you sure?
Well, that's a good point.
Do you want to answer the dumb choice?
I'll give dumb a shot, but I won't be too specific.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had a lot of jobs and I worked with a lot of folks that think you should always appear confident.
Okay.
And say yes, but then this kind of contradicts our earlier answer.
Okay.
But I found when it comes to working with clients and working with anybody really, it's best to be honest.
Okay.
If something's not going to work or something it's not in your wheelhouse, or you're not that good at it, don't say yes, I can do it and figure it out, because it'll come back to bite you.
Yeah.
Be honest with where you're at, and if it's not a win-win, and if it's not the right choice, just be honest.
Sure.
Just be,
save all the hassle.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Because I've worked with people that are like, no, you can't. What? You can't be honest with that guy. You got to make the sale. Right. You got to get. You got to do it. Yeah. All those clients and jobs I've had where I said yes to things that I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Just causes way too much stress.
Sure.
Yeah. Even if the project thing works out, like I done a lot of IT stuff and all. So even if the project works out, I still wasted far too much time being stressed and miserable.
Right.
And it just wasn't worth it.
Right.
So not being specific about those clients. But
say yes by saying no.
Yes. Say yes, but be honest. If you have a broken leg, don't say yes to surfing.
Yes. There you go.
But if your leg works just fine, try it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to dovetail a little bit. We've talked about being at shows and concerts. Do you have a story about someone being obnoxious at some public event you were at? So it could be a concert if you want it to be a concert. It could be a church service. I'm just trying to think,
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Since you mentioned church services.
Okay.
And as we mentioned earlier, I grew up definitely super evangelical.
Yep. Same here.
And all that stuff.
Yep.
And tried a few different ends of that. Spent a lot of time with the Vineyard Church in Columbus, and great experience, great people.
Okay.
Like, they got nothing bad to say about those guys whatsoever. It was great. But the Vineyard came out of the Jesus freak hippie Christian movement in California. And there were still some folks around that were still kind of living it like the 70s here and there.
Yeah.
And Yeah, we had a church service, and I was playing guitar in the worship team. A couple of old timers showed up to show us how worship was supposed to be done.
Oh,
So they got it right up front in front of the whole congregation.
this isn't like rehearsal.
No,
This is like during service.
Yeah, during service.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that particular branch or spin-off Vineyard Church is probably a few hundred people at the time.
Okay.
So it wasn't a mega church, but it wasn't, good size.
Yeah.
So a couple of old timers showed up to show us how it was supposed to be done, 70s style. They got up in front and they were jumping and dancing, and they had their tambourines out, and they were shaking them and kind of singing and kind of just shouting along, maybe kind of speaking in tongues.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard some good speaking in tongues, and this was just, it sounded like you were being noisy.
Yeah.
And, so they were being obnoxious.
That is obnoxious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for free expression of showing your love for the higher powers of the universe, whatever way you see fit.
Yeah.
And bless their hearts for trying to show us how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But just because that's how you did it on the beach in California in 1974, doesn't mean you're really fitting in here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of funny. It was fun to see, though.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure memorable for everyone there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't come back.
It's fair.
Yeah. I think their thing was popping around. The Vineyard had a bunch of churches around the area. They had it was a big community around there.
Yeah.
And I think these folks had a habit of kind of trying to find one to pop into to show the kids how it was supposed to be.
Yeah. And then leave before we actually have to discuss what just happened.
Exactly. When you start getting a little side eye from the pastor, you know that you've overstepped, and then you scoot off and try someplace else next Sunday.
That's good.
That was neat.
Yeah, I like that. I actually wasn't thinking you'd have a church story. I just kind of threw that out there. Yeah. I don't know this about you, so this question might fit, might not fit.
Okay.
What's a small thing that you could organize in your home that would make it better? And like a simple thing, like something you could do tomorrow, like in a day.
Yep.
So maybe your answer is I'm already pretty organized, or maybe you do have something that pops into your head that's a small thing that you could organize.
Well, the easy answer is everything.
Yeah. Well, how do we break down everything? Because everything's overwhelming.
Right.
So I think about this with my house. I was like, okay, can I just tackle the one cupboard in the bathroom?
Yep.
Okay, I did that. That's at least a little bit organized. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I do say everything because we just dropped off my daughter at college.
Okay.
So now I'm technically an empty nester.
Yeah.
And love my kid, but man, she's high energy, and she had projects going in every room of the house. So every room of the house could use some organizing.
Totally.
And now that my daughter's not there to start another project in another room, we might get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more specific answer, I play harmonica when I'm doing shows.
Yeah.
Because I do the folk singer thing with the, Bob Dylan harmonica rack, all that. And harmonicas come in different keys for different songs. And harmonicas are also pretty fragile.
Right.
And it's much easier and cheaper, maybe not cheaper, but it's much easier just to buy a new harmonica if one breaks. But when they break, they don't really break. It's usually just one
section.
Just like one note.
Okay.
Yeah, because the typical folk singer harmonica, you got 10 blowholes where you can blow the air through or suck the air through. Those are two different notes. So I guess you got 20 notes.
Okay.
Yep. And usually what happens is one of those goes bad.
Okay.
Like one right in the middle goes bad. Probably the one you play the most.
Sure.
And sometimes you can take it apart and you realize there's a hunk of something stuck in there because, you just ate a bag of peanuts and you thought.
Pulled pork sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you brush your teeth, there's still something that might get in there. It doesn't take much to, get stuck. So, So right now I've got a whole stack of harmonicas I've bought over the years, for a decade or so.
Sure.
Basically all the same make and model. And the Hohner Special 20, my go-to. So I've got a whole stack, different keys, and most of them are half broken.
Okay.
And I know that if I just took an hour and went through and took them apart with a screwdriver and figure out which ones were good and which ones were bad and put together the bad ones, I'm sure I've got I'm sure I've got close to a dozen good harmonicas somewhere in that stack if I combine the parts.
Okay.
And that would make my life better.
Sure.
Because I'm always kind of stuck. I'm like, oh, I need a,
Yeah.
I think, should I just, order one off the internet and go down to Guitar Center?
Yeah.
Or do I actually take the time to go try to figure that out? So that's
my one that's in C is broke. So now I have to try to do this song in whatever.
Right.
G or whatever.
Work around it. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've probably got 3 or 4 C harmonicas that are half broken in my stack. Going back,
Right.
Going back since college. I mean, we're talking like it got a stack.
Right. So I'm just curious. Yeah. So it's a metal casing that's around it. Mm-hmm. So does that pull apart into like 2 pieces? Like you said, you unscrew some screws.
Yep.
Does that basically come up into 2 pieces? And then there's the different, I don't know what the word is. You said blowholes. Yeah. Channels that are for each. Is that kind of roughly? This is probably better visually than audio, but
picture this, boys and girls. Yeah. Picture this. Yeah. So basically you have a plastic box that has the holes in it that you blow through. Yeah. And then it's kind of like a sandwich. So on the top and bottom, there's what they call a reed plate. Okay. And the reed plate is a metal plate that has these little metal bars that vibrate when you blow on them. Yeah. So there's 10 of those on the top, 10 on the bottom. Okay. And then there's a metal cover on the top and bottom there. That makes the outside. So like a symmetrical sandwich, if you will. Mm-hmm. So
you would just take off either the top or the bottom. Yep. Check it out and then flip it over and check the opposite side. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, because it's basically just 2 little screws that hold it together. So take the screws out, and then you can go through and see if something's obviously wrong in there. But usually you can't quite tell because it's just kind of bent a little bit and a little weird. Yeah, yeah. And there's guys that will go through and adjust the reeds and bend them a little bit. And there's even guys that will tune them by taking sandpaper and making them just a little smaller. Yeah. So you get a little higher note that way. Okay. So, so people really geek out on this.
Oh, I'm sure.
But they're so small.
Right.
I think it's like, they're like $40 a pop right now.
Sure.
Which isn't crazy money.
Right.
But it's still money. Yeah. So if I actually went through that stack, figured out which ones are working, which ones aren't, combine the parts, that would make my life better.
Okay.
Every day I see them all stacked up in the closet staring at me.
Right.
Saying, hey, dude, when are you going to do this?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many harmonicas do you think the guy from Blues Traveler has?
Oh, man.
500?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's got every single one you can have. Like, like on his person. Yeah, he wears like that fishing jacket. He's all in there. Yep. Yeah, that guy's amazing. Yeah, it'd be cool to see, to sit down with him and ask him like what he's using and how he does it.
Totally. You're right.
Yeah, because there's the basic ones, and then there's other ones that are tuned a little different for different keys and modal stuff, and there's other variations you can get that I haven't gotten into. But I guarantee that guy has.
Yeah, for sure.
And he probably has 10 backups with him on the tour bus for every single key and situation. That's his, bread and butter.
Yeah, that's his baby. That's and then you play. Is it a folk harmonica? And then are there other genre of harmonicas, or are they all kind of the same?
I'm sure there's a technical thing. Technical answer. It's the basic one, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, the basic one. The basic one. It's in a key. So
your harmonica is so basic.
It's basic. Yeah. But then they've got the bigger ones, and bigger ones let you hit all the half steps and all the various notes. The really big ones, like Stevie Wonder always played a lot of harmonica and stuff. He'd have that, and some of those have a button on the side that you hit. When you hit the button, it changes the notes around a little bit.
Okay.
I've never tried one. So yeah, you can there's all kinds out there. So like if you're like a jazz guy or something like that.
That's what I was wondering.
Yep.
Right.
And there are techniques on the basic ones to get every possible variation, all the sharps and flats. There's ways of overblowing and bending notes to get just the right thing. But yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah.
That's really tricky.
Right.
There's a couple of those little moves you kind of fall into naturally, like playing guitar, like bending strings. There's a few things on guitar you'd like, oh, that sounds bluesy and cool. It kind of comes natural.
I don't really know what I did.
Yeah. Those are the guys that are like really specific. They can play any song on any harmonica in any key because they know how to blow everything just right to either bend it up or down in half step to get just But as I said before, I'm a middle of the road talent.
Right.
Middle of the road.
Yeah. Medium fish in a medium pond.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's another story I tell.
Okay.
So I got back into I played in bands and stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
But I got back into doing this because I was walking down Phillips Avenue here in town
Okay.
one summer's night a few years ago. And I walked by one patio and there's a guy who's just amazing.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that guy's great. Sounded great. Great voice. He had great equipment.
Like just acoustic guitar?
Yeah, just acoustic guitar.
Okay.
But it just sounded great.
Yeah.
You could tell the guy was a boss. He knew his stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's good. Then I walked up a little further up Phillips, and there's another guy in a patio. He was just awful.
You get the whole game.
Yeah, he was just, I mean, I don't know who it was, but, he was hunched over his iPad and he didn't know the songs. And yeah, you could just tell he wasn't exactly up to snuff. And I thought, between those two guys, there's probably room for a guy like me in the middle somewhere. And it turns out there was.
Yeah.
So you got to go out there and do it. Be yourself. And
yeah.
So I know I'll probably never be as good as the first guy, but I knew I was already better than the other guy. And if he's getting a show, maybe somebody will hire me too.
Yeah. Right. And you've done a lot of work. Like it takes work to just contact places.
Yeah.
Over and over.
You're right. It's a hassle. Yeah. I really hate booking.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's courage though. The worst they can do is say no.
I suppose.
So you might as well just, throw it out there, see what happens. But I don't want to be a hassle.
Do you find it's better, like, does everyone just want you to like hit them up on social for booking stuff, or show up in person to actually face-to-face talk to someone? What's kind of the current best way of doing that?
I like to stop in.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. I find that's best because then you kind of get a feel for what's going on.
Yeah.
And you might, within a few questions, you can get a lot more information.
Yeah.
Like the place might be like, well, we really just do jazz.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
If I had sent an email to that guy, he probably wouldn't get back to me because they just do jazz.
Right.
But then I'd wonder, you didn't get back to me.
Yeah,
Was it my
you don't know
fault?
why.
Did you not get it? Were you on vacation? Should I hit you up again?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, show up in person is good. So I like doing that because you get that face-to-face interaction.
Yep.
And usually it's a manager that does the hiring or something, or one of the managers, and they're usually not there.
Right.
Just you have that kind of luck. So you talk to like the head server or the bartender. They take your card and say whatever. So you have to go back and hopefully meet the manager. But at least you got the guy's name and you got the guy's actual email address. So it's better than just go into the info at or whatever or a Facebook message. Because some places are big on social media. Other places have a Facebook page they never check. You just never know. So face-to-face is good. Yeah, because just getting ghosted.
It's good to know.
Yeah, I don't like getting ghosted. That whole like they don't get back to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't know. Were they busy? Did they miss it? Or was it personal?
Right. Yeah.
Probably they were just busy.
Right.
But, still you don't have that initial feedback.
Right.
So
I like it. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 left, including the one that if I can narrow down.
Okay.
Or if we mutually veto it.
All right.
Are there any words in particular that you dislike? Whether they just sound weird, you don't like the meaning, more just like. So I'll give you one. This is just probably immaturity on my part. Pianist. Just like I don't like referring to someone as a pianist.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, just words in our language that are just like.
Do you want to hear a dumb pianist joke?
Sure. Don't ask, just tell it.
Okay. Yeah. So a guy walks into a bar, and he looks over, and there's a guy playing piano. Smallest guy the guy has ever seen. I mean, he makes the Munchkins from the Wizard of Oz look like giants.
Okay.
Smallest guy he's ever seen playing piano.
Yeah.
He says to the bartender, "Hey, what's up with the piano player there over there?" Bartender says, "Well, here's the thing. I was walking down the beach and I found a golden lamp.
Okay.
I picked it up and I started to rub all the sand off and polish it up, and a genie popped out.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy." And the genie says, "Thank you for freeing me from my magic lamp. I will now grant you 3 wishes."
Okay.
The bartender says, so I look at him, I'm like, okay, how about $1 million? And boom, the chest landed on the beach beside me, open it up, $1 million, small unmarked bills. Fantastic. It's like, this is great. And the guy's like, "What's your second wish?" The bartender says, "I'd like a beautiful woman to love me for the rest of my life." And just then, walking down the beach comes this gorgeous lady in a bikini, walks right up to him, gives him a big hug and a kiss, and says, "Oh, I love you." The bartender's like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life." So the guy's like, "Well, what happened?" He says, well, man, here's where I think I messed up. Do you really think I asked for a 12-inch pianist? So, boom. Anyway, that's a pianist joke for you.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a bad word.
It is.
It's not, yeah. How about flautist?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Another weird one.
Right.
Yeah. Another weird one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Personal story.
Okay.
I'm not big on words that start with the letter W.
Okay. Okay.
And here's why.
Yeah.
I've always had a bit of a stutter.
Okay.
And it flares up on certain words.
Sure.
Yeah, my last name is Wenzel.
Right? Oh, it's West.
Yeah. Well, my birth name was Wenzel.
Yeah.
I used to live on a road called Winnebago Trail.
Oh, 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember times when I've had to give, important information in a semi-official setting, like as a school kid,
Sure.
Whatever, like name and address, and you're uptight, you start to stutter on a W, and your last name is Wenzel, and you live on Winnebago Trail. Yeah, a couple weird moments.
Stuck.
Yeah, and then social situations. Best thing to do to get to know somebody is ask them questions about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But social situations can bring out the anxiety in anybody. Mm-hmm. And most questions start with a W. Mm-hmm. Who, why, where, which, what, So you're trying to ask somebody a basic question to be nice, and you start stuttering because you can't say, "What do you do?" Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, words that start with W annoy me for that reason because they're so necessary.
Big time.
And, if I'm going to stutter, it's going to be on one of those words.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in situations where that's the thing you say. That's the obvious question. The obvious thing to say is, "Oh, what do you do?" Mm-hmm. It's just polite.
Yeah.
And keeps it going.
It's like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you try to figure out a way to get around it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's a good answer.
Yeah. Probably not the answer you're looking for.
No.
But
it's all about just interpreting my question how you want. Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I like it. So you can become any fictional character.
Ooh.
Who is it? What sort of things do you do? What world are you in?
Right.
Is
Ziggy Stardust a fictional character?
That's a good one. Yeah. What's the difference between a fictional character and a persona?
Right.
Yeah. I'll say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pick something else.
Skip that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question. I'd be okay being Han Solo.
There you go. Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
It does.
Yeah.
Adventurous.
Get to fly around.
Flying around.
Yep.
You're more or less always the hero.
Right. Yeah. But you don't have all that pressure.
Uh-huh.
You're not the chosen one like Luke Skywalker.
Right.
You don't have magic powers or whatever.
Right.
You're just a guy with a blaster.
Yeah.
And a big hairy buddy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a dog. A dog that can fly a plane.
Yep. Yeah. It sure seems like the ladies like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
You don't have to be the hero.
Yeah.
But that guy who just kind of comes and goes and makes it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good place to be in life.
Yeah. I agree.
So, yeah. Yeah. He does his own thing.
Yeah.
He comes and goes. He makes it happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you really need him, he'll be there.
Right.
Might not be too happy about it, but he'll come through for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
That's a hard one because most of the characters that come to mind are like more like in a drama. And it's like, I don't know that I want, whereas Han Solo is like, sure, it's a drama, but it's also just kind of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got to have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm choosing to jump into this world for X amount of time.
Right.
Yeah. I want it to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And I want to go to Lightspeed. I've never done Lightspeed
Yeah,
before.
for sure.
That'd be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So we got one left.
Okay.
And it was, you were in charge of a team for a project.
Ah.
Who who are the people that you want on this project? The project is event that's in Sioux Falls
Okay.
that is music adjacent.
Okay.
So like we already have music festivals, German Fest, I guess I call that music. But like what's a project that you could see being related to music
Mhm.
that you think Sioux Falls could use? And is there anyone that you know of that you're like, oh, that would be a good person to have involved with it?
Can I try something different
Oh yeah,
about
please.
Sioux Falls?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
kind of on the fly, man. So,
Okay. Switch gears here.
Yeah.
I think we should do a better job of protecting the green space around Sioux Falls
Okay.
and the area.
Like as it expands,
Yeah.
like grows as a city. Okay.
Yeah. I would like to see something put in where, let's say, within 200 feet of the bike trail
Mm-hmm.
on other side,
Mm-hmm.
you can't build anything.
Okay.
Basically, you can't build anything
Right.
outside of maybe like a playground or a baseball
Okay.
diamond, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I love to bike around town on the bike trail,
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting built up a little bit.
Okay.
Even like by the airport and stuff, some of those wide open
I
areas.
suppose it
It's
is.
getting built up.
Yeah.
Some of it's okay.
Mhm.
You know, like the new Sanford Sports Center out
Mhm.
there. That's a great fit
Right.
for sure. And some of it's just like another like mini storage
Mhm.
kind of warehouse kind of thing
Right.
going up.
Right.
So I think it would be great if Sioux Falls said, hey, we're going to have a green belt.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big one, small one,
Yeah.
you know, but there's a lot of marginal properties, especially like on the west side,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's just places that, you know, just gravel parking lots with junkers parked in them. And some
Right.
guy's got an auto shop over there,
Yeah.
whatever, which is fine. I'm glad
Right.
that guy does. But
Right.
if that guy would sell, retire
Uh-huh.
or whatever, you know, I'd be like, hey, that property is going to go back to the city.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to plant some cottonwoods
Mm-hmm.
and just make it look natural over there.
Right.
You know, I don't know what it would take to do that
Right.
and how much money it would take. Because
Right.
obviously a lot
Yeah,
of
same
all
here.
those properties are kind of valuable now just because of proximity to downtown and a growing area.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it'd be great if we said, hey, you know, we've got this amazing bike trail.
Right.
Let's make this ring around Sioux Falls even better.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, instead of if there's like, you know, a little patch of cornfield that hasn't been used
Or
whatever,
warehouse. Yeah.
whatever it is, say, hey, when that, whatever happens, whenever that guy dies, retires, sells, whatever, the city's going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to expand the green belt a little bit
Mhm.
around here.
If you want some sort of leisure space near it,
Mhm.
that's kind of acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, kind of a park,
Right.
that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Some kind of, park stuff, public use stuff,
Simple recreational
soccer fields.
stuff.
Yeah. You know, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally okay with that.
Mhm.
But just green space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No more gravel parking lots with
Mhm.
junkers.
Mhm.
No more, you know, mini storage units.
Mm-hmm.
We've got plenty of that.
Yep.
I like to see Sioux Falls do a better job of protecting
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of things.
I haven't been on the bike trail in a little while. Like what's on the south end of the trail? Is that still just like residential?
Mhm.
Is there apartment buildings down there?
The south end is kind of the fancier end
Yeah.
because it goes
that's-
past like Yankton Trail Park. We got
Yes.
all the soccer fields.
Right. So that
And
part
Tut Hill.
is mostly
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. That part's mostly good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because then you come up around the Butterfly House,
Yep.
outdoor campus area.
Yep.
So a lot of that's already pretty good.
Yep.
You know, but like there's a trailer park down in there
Mhm.
on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Butterfly House stuff on one side and the
Mhm.
trailer park on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've got nothing against trailer parks
No.
whatsoever, of course.
Right.
But if at some point that property is sold,
Mm-hmm.
it's already a hole. It would it probably used to be a wetland.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be great if it went back to wetland. Be good for flood control.
Totally.
You know.
I'm sure.
But I got a feeling when that is sold eventually, someone's going to put up
Yeah.
another mediocre
Yeah.
strip mall /
Yeah.
you know, apartment complex or
Yep.
whatever
Right.
down in there. You
Right.
know, it's like, be nice
And
if
we're
we planned
not-
ahead of it a little bit.
Yeah. We're not confined. Like,
Right.
There's room to
There's
like
Plenty of
put
space.
that strip mall somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how that would look.
Yeah.
You know, but like Good Earth is a great park out there, Blood
Yeah.
Run out there. And they keep expanding.
They're great. Yeah.
They've had some people donate some farmland around there to the
Mhm.
park. So eventually when they expand, they'll have just more space.
Yep.
You know, in theory, we could have a chain of parks the whole way up and down the Big Sioux River.
Mhm.
They would connect to downtown Sioux Falls. They've
Mhm.
already got a bike trail that goes out towards Brandon
Mm-hmm.
along that little creek that comes in there.
Yep.
Well, no, that's like the Big Sioux goes out there. Yep. So they've already got that bike trail. You know, if they just had that mindset, they were going
Mhm.
to just make a nice chain of green
Mhm.
spaces. they're not that big. Just
Right.
you know, it's just a few hundred feet, frankly, just a buffer.
Right.
You know, but that chunk you go out to Brandon, go down the Big Sioux, connect with Good Earth.
Mm-hmm.
There's parkland in Iowa right across the
Yep.
way.
Yep.
Is it Gitchie Run over there?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's other little park lands, and
Yep.
there's public lands down to Lake Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's all these little pockets
Yep.
of parkland / state land,
Mhm.
hunting land,
Mhm.
whatever, the whole way down to the Big Sioux. You know, from Sioux Falls, probably, down to,
Newton Hills, at least.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it wouldn't be that
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be great if somebody had the vision to say, hey, let's just connect all this. So you could actually get in a kayak,
Mhm.
start at Falls Park, go down to go down past Canton,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You know, they have a bike trails to go the whole way down.
Mm-hmm.
You could actually do some proper long hiking if you want in the area,
Mm-hmm.
instead of kind of kicking it for a couple 3 miles and pretending you went on a hike,
Right.
which
yeah.
is good. It's much better than nothing. But
Yes.
we do have tons of land here,
Yeah.
and it'd be nice if somebody had the foresight to say, hey, let's do some land swaps. Let's
Right.
we've got this, you've got that. This connects here.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Just a nice little buffer.
And we have plenty of land, but this specific type of land by the river
Yep,
is limited.
exactly.
Right.
So protect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Protect that, because everything here, it's very squared off.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out here and surveyed everything. It's all squared off. It's really flat. It's not like
Mhm.
there's ravines and hills and mountains and just natural places where the trees grow and the deer wander, that kind of thing.
Right.
Because it's easier. It's really easy to build here.
Sure.
It's easy just to, bulldoze it, put in another half dozen split level suburban houses, whatever,
Right.
super easy to do. And there's just not a lot of thought about saving those patches.
Right.
So that would be the project.
That is a good project.
That would be the project.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what to call it. The core of Sioux Falls does have even parks. And so hopefully as it expands, I'm not on the edges of Sioux Falls, but hopefully as it expands, they're planning parks as part of the expansion.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah, I
they
don't know.
are. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they should be.
yeah. So what? We'll probably need someone that's affiliated with the city to be on this,
Mm-hmm.
on the project, on the city planning.
Somebody with some clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And maybe someone with a little bit of architectural
Mhm.
background.
Mhm.
Maybe that's not the right word.
Yeah. Like civil engineering, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Right.
Planning, zoning. You know who wouldn't be bad?
Okay.
'Cause I don't think he's doing much right now.
Okay.
Mayor Mike Huther.
Oh, yeah.
Remember my man Mike?
I do.
Yeah. He's a super nice guy.
Super nice.
Totally cares about this town.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's up to.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling he wouldn't mind getting back into politics and giving back in
Sure.
some way.
Yeah.
So, Mayor Mike, if you're listening to this right now,
Yeah.
this is your project.
I can go creepy delivery guy right now.
That's true.
And I know where he lives.
Okay.
And he is I've actually,
Yeah.
he's been outside his house when I've delivered to him, and he is super nice.
Yeah. I've talked to him.
He
Yeah.
was so grateful that I was delivering Menard stuff or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was that's just what I do. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're he was just overly grateful
Yeah.
that I was
Yeah.
out doing what I do.
He knocked on every single door
Yeah.
when he was running for mayor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every neighborhood.
Yeah.
Fancy, not fancy, in
Mhm.
between.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him one time. It was at a wedding
Sure.
that he was at. I just was standing by him, just
Yeah.
randomly. He turned to me and he said, "Hey, my name's Mike."
Yeah.
And I said, "I know." And he said, "How?" I said, "Well,
Was he serious?
yeah."
Okay.
And I said, "Well, I've seen you around." He said, "Really? Where?" In the paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you know who I am." But he's just a nice guy. He doesn't want to start by "Hey, I'm the
Right.
hot shot in town right
I
now."
noticed that you noticed me.
Yeah, so right. Yeah, just completely opposite. He's going to assume that that you don't know who he is,
Yep.
and that if you started there, he'd be a jerk.
Mhm.
But he's starts the other way. I'm gonna
Mhm.
assume that you're just a nice guy, and I'm
Mhm.
just a nice guy. We're just both at this event.
Two guys at a wedding.
Two guys at a wedding, whatever. Big
Right.
wedding, a lot of people here we don't know. Yeah, and he didn't know if I was from in town or out of town or whatever. But
Mhm.
but instead of starting up here and then
Mhm.
coming down to my level,
Right.
he started down here, and then
Yeah.
we had a great conversation.
Right.
So
And then you realize you're more of a middle kind of person.
middle person, that's the theme here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Han Solo.
Oh yeah. Han Solo at a wedding.
That's right.
Well, that's 10, man.
I did all 10?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Nice.
Unless I counted wrong. I missed one with Bobby. I missed one. Thought we did 10.
Okay.
We only did 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this is fun.
I do always like to offer, like, if there's any of these that you wanted to bounce back towards me, you're welcome to do that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you want to see the list, if that helps you,
Yeah.
or
I'll throw it at you.
if you can read my writing, but
I'll throw it at you here. Let's see. You dislike the word pianist.
oh yeah,
That
I did
has been
answer that one.
established. Yeah.
I try to chime in. I try to make it a back and forth, not all one-sided.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you, who in your life do you find courageous?
I do have a particular person in mind, but it's more of the category of single mom or single parent. I guess it's more commonly a single mom, but sometimes it's single dads. And just one, I don't have kids, but just observing of like what it takes to parent. And then on top of that, you're doing it by yourself. I just think it takes so much, maybe it's more than courage, but courage to like just schedule all the things that you need to do, both for yourself and for your kids, on top of putting yourself out there as a person to be a part of just society and be like, yeah, it's just me and I got these kids and we're doing our best. I don't know. I find that to be like, I don't know how they do it. Single parents. So that's the main thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. That's a great answer.
Courageous people. Because you could choose to not be, right?
Yep.
And some people do, right? For whatever reason. But man, I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah. Because I'm a married guy with 2 kids. Yeah, I feel like we're just hanging on sometimes, just trying to juggle everything and pay the bills and keep up with the kids and try to be present and patient and all that. So even with 2 of us, with both fairly flexible schedules, it was still just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you should adopt a kid tomorrow, and I think you should push into that courage.
Say yes.
Say yes to life. Right. Push into that.
I think I have a broken foot. I don't know.
Oh no. We'll get you fixed up.
Okay. Fair enough.
In no time.
Okay.
You can start with like a dog.
Could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I just appreciate my flexibility where it's like,
I feel you.
I'm going to go for a week
Yep.
and I don't have to worry about finding someone to watch my dog.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love dogs, but I do not want one right now.
Nope. Not at all.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There might come a day where
Exactly.
it's like, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. There. Someday when I'm in a wheelchair
Right.
and I'm not going anywhere anyways,
Yeah.
they're like, yep, time to get some dogs around
Right.
here.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
You're off to do a second podcast.
Yeah, which is bizarre because this is the first podcast Link West
Yeah.
has ever done.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I've got a second one today.
Yeah.
Just bizarre timing, but
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I hope
Yeah.
it goes as well as this one because
Yeah.
this was fun.
It is fun, man.
Yeah,
Right.
this is great.
Yeah.